Well, our moms think we're funny.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Our Moms Think We're Funny. My name is Turk182.
And I'm Acomi.
So, Acomi. So I don't know how much of a topic or conversation this is going to be, but I had a thought the other day, because, I always have these, random thoughts and musings and stuff.
Right.
And so I had this thought the other day, and I was like, okay, and I'm sure someone else has thought of it. Whenever I have a thought, I am like, okay, I've never heard this before, but I'm sure that somebody else has had this thought before. It can't just be me.
Right.
And so I'm like, I'm sure someone else had this thought before. And I was like, well, let me just go ahead and just toss it out there, to Acomi and be like, hey, have you thought about this before? I mean, or heard anybody mention this before? And I don't even know exactly why I was thinking about Ghostbusters. I couldn't tell you why I was thinking about Ghostbusters. But I was thinking about Ghostbusters, and I was like, one thing they never talk about? And it's right there. It's not a secret. Everybody knows it, but they never talk about it, and I don't think anyone ever fully addresses it. And I know it's gotta, for the character, it's really gotta, just really gotta dig into them. And that is Venkman. So Bill Murray's character, Peter Venkman. Venkman's very selfish, self-serving kind of guy, very egotistical. They never addressed the fact that, first off, Louis Tully, the neighbor, to Dana.
Right.
So he totally nailed her. He fucked the shit out of her. He nailed her before Venkman could. And that's gotta bug him.
Well, of course, yeah.
But they never mentioned it. They never talk about it. Do you know that every time he looks at her, even when they apparently had a relationship and they broke up and kind of get back together in Ghostbusters 2, that's always got to be in his mind, is that little worm, right? After all of his, just fawning all over her and Dana, that he got to her before Venkman did. And not only that, the night of their supposed date where he was going to try to put the moves on her, that's the night he nails her.
Yeah.
He's like, I straight up jacked your girl on your date night. And I got some before you did.
Yeah, that really breaks the bro code a lot.
But no one ever talks about it. And that's gotta eat at him.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And that Egon will be the kind of guy that will bring that up to every once in a while.
Of course.
And then on top of that, Tully has got to think about it, be like, yeah, no matter what you say, right? I fucked her. I got her. And it was good too. Hell, it was so good it almost destroyed the world. But they never bring that up.
I guess in a lot of ways, you really can't bring that up when it's somebody that you're working with,
Well, I'm saying, in the movie, they never really addressed the fact, he never kind of, just even mumbles under his breath or anything, but, or even, I can see, Ray, right? I can see Ray, just bringing it up, because, he has that blunt way of saying stuff without really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's I'm glad to see that you finally let it go that Tully got some before you did.
Right.
And we're like, why would you bring that up, Ray? That, but, that's nothing that ever is mentioned.
Yeah.
And they just kind of just gloss over it, okay, it's cool, whatever. But, I mean, it happened. We all know it happened. We were all right there. I mean, had you ever thought about that?
I really hadn't,
I think it's kind of interesting.
It is very interesting, yeah.
So then I had this idea of, they've got that Ghostbusters movie that's coming out with Paul Rudd. And it's got the Egon's daughter in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, what I'd like to see in that movie would be, not as a Deus Ex Machina or anything like that, or even someone that's rushing in to save the day, but I'd like to see this guy show up and he knows nice handsome guy, like, nice build. He's about, about 16 or 17 years old.
Right.
Kind of fashionable, got like a really kind of stylish haircut, so it kind of looks cool. And he's the son of Janine and Tully.
Right.
But he's been raised on the stories of the Ghostbusters because of them working with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and with all that, he's like, oh yeah, the Ghostbusters real. This happened to me. And she's like, and I was there. Your father's telling you the truth, and all this stuff. And so he's like dedicated his life to like learning about ghosts and stuff because of this. Like, it's like his nerdy father, like the one thing he did, and he was there, and it's like, and I mean, it's right there. It's proof. I mean, it's all over the place,
right.
that happened. And so he's like kind of put himself through it. And then to tie it in there, you can make, and I haven't seen the other Ghostbusters movie, but you could make Chris Hemsworth's character like his uncle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who would be the person that would teach him like how to be cool, how to look cool, even though he's not apparently very smart, but he's...
Was Chris Hemsworth in the female Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
He played the I guess the secretary or phone answerer person, whatever.
Yeah.
So that he would be the guy that would like, he'd be like the male bimbo. So he would be able to teach him like how to look good, how to talk to girls, that kind of stuff. But his father would be the one that would, teach him, he would get all the smarts from him.
Right.
So then when they need to know about in this new movie, when they need to know about like what the ghost is going on, right? That's when this guy shows him like, I know all about it. And he's like, oh shit, it's like the opposite of like Tully and everything. And just, I think that'd be kind of awesome. Then you get to put that whole piece in there too. It's like, oh yeah, because my dad, he screwed this chick and almost brought about the end of the world. But he got some. He's like, just goes to show perseverance. If it's a girl you like, you just persevere, and then eventually you get possessed by a ghost and you can fuck her.
I mean, whatever it takes, I guess.
I was like, and this kind of goes to that thing that we were going to do with like after the credits roll.
Yeah.
But to where like there's things in movies that they don't really talk about afterwards. Right. Like, but there's always these kind of lingering questions like, what happens now?
Right.
I'm like, what what do you do? So that's why I'm curious about that. Like, huh.
Mm-hmm.
And so has anyone else ever really thought about that? So you guys listening out there, you're a Ghostbusters fan. Have any of you ever thought about that?
I know I definitely haven't. Granted, I was very distracted the last time I watched the movie, but...
Oh, do tell.
Oh, just personal shit.
Oh. Okay,
definitely nothing on a funny podcast.
I thought you were going to feel like you were like, getting some or making out with some chick or whatever. But like, oh yeah, we put that on.
Who do you think you're talking to?
We're like Ghostbusters and chill. And I just thought it'd be funny because, afterwards in there, she'd be like, I've been slimed. And they're like, huh?
Nothing nearly that fun.
No, boo. So, yeah, but if you other guys ever like, went back and thought about that, be like, hey, yeah, you're completely right. And that, like I said, that's got a guy like that, that's got to just really just irk him.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe that could even be the reason why they broke up. Like, he was like, that bothered him so much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, understandably so.
So, yeah. I just putting it out there, man.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine that, like, you had everything all set to go on a date with Anne Hathaway, and then you found out that I got to her first. You'd be pissed off at me.
No. I mean, am I still going on a date with her?
I mean... I guess.
I mean, we're talking about Anne Hathaway here. Like, if you're like, oh yeah, I got a date with Anne Hathaway, we're like, great. And it's like, hey, she'll be ready, but we're running about 30 minutes late. And I'm like, yeah, but I still have a date with her, right? Like, I don't give a shit.
Nice to know, I guess.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, if I were like getting ready for a date with Anna Kendrick and you were like, oh yeah, I fucked her, it'd be like, you son of a bitch.
Oh, so that would stop you completely?
No, it wouldn't stop me completely, but I'd be pissed.
Well, that's why I hadn't planned on telling you till after you had sex with the two. But like, hey, me too. What a coincidence.
We're tunnel buddies. What do you know?
Yeah, it's like, when it's like, oh, I left her house at 6:30 and came over here. Yeah, I was there at 5:30. Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, no, but that wouldn't. Yeah, that wouldn't bother me. I mean, now if it was like generic girl in my like town that I met, and you were like, yeah, I fucked her right before like 2 days before you did. Like, really? I mean, like that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, it's kind of a shitty move.
Well, especially if you knew that I was like, oh, hey, dude, I met this girl up at Applebee's, and like, she was shit hot, right? And we got a date,
Mother damn.
Yeah, I was like, and we got a date, and and like from the way we were talking and everything, I think and we may not go all the way, but I'm definitely gonna like steal second base, right? Oh wait, that came across a little too Weinstein, didn't it?
A little bit.
Okay. Okay, how's this? I'm definitely gonna get a pop fly in the center field. How's that? So and then you're like, and then like a day later you're like, oh hey, by the way, so I just happened to stop by Applebee's and had a meal.
I just happened to stop by an Applebee's 2 hours from where I live.
Right, and have a meal, and then after I was done, I ordered some food too, and then be like, wait, what? I'd feel like I think I would feel like the end of Miss New Booty, the Mos Def song.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Where it's a really nice song, but where he's talking to all this girl he met and all that kind of stuff, and then they kind of hook up, and then next thing you know, like she just kind of like leaves him just flat for like no reason. And then his friend's like, yo, I met this like really hot girl at the club, and she looked like this. She's like, wait, what? And that's how the song ends. He's like, what? And it just ends. Then I'd be like, hey, that, in the words of Jimi Hendrix, that ain't too cool. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it all depends, man. I mean, when we're talking about, not to say that that Anne Hathaway is like special because she's a movie star. She's special because I think she's hot. You know what I mean? And so, just now I'll tell you what would be pissed off. What would piss me off, man, is if like you were like, oh yeah, I'm like yeah, I got a date with Rosario Dawson, and we're gonna be going out to a restaurant, and afterwards, we're gonna take a walk through downtown, and who knows what's gonna happen after that? But that's the plan. You're like, oh yeah, well, she and I met the other day, and like we went back over to my house. We had some wine, and then she read a couple passages from this book to me until I fell asleep. I'd be like, you motherfucker, there's a good chance I was gonna be able to have sex with her, and you said you had to read to you first. You fucking piece of shit. This podcast is over. That would piss me off. I'd be so angry. But I mean, other than that, I think I'd be fine with it.
Something not weirdly specific. I don't know if I would blame you. I think at that point I would just put it all on her and be like, why the fuck did you read to him? I wouldn't be able to get over it, but on her and not yours.
Well, I just assumed that you probably asked her to or something. But this is my favorite book. Sorry, I gotta get a drink of water here, but yeah.
Right.
So, but I mean, so again, we still have to do our whole podcast for after the credits roll. But I mean, have you ever had anything else like that where you thought about like, okay, so, like, hey, they never really like talked about this, or like this completely happened and they just kind of gloss over it.
They kind of do that in the Karate Kid movies, like in between each of them in the first three, they always just kind of throw away his girlfriend from the first movie, and they usually do it with just like a single throwaway line of dialogue. And I always found that frustrating. Because it'll always just be like, oh yeah, what about so-and-so? And I'll be like, oh yeah, she started dating the football player or whatever, and then at the beginning of the third movie, his girlfriend from Okinawa, he was like, oh yeah, we broke up because she went off to some dance studio or something. It's like, it's always just this throwaway line, but it's like, there's actually, grounds for a pretty interesting story arc with that kind of thing.
Well, to be fair, though, first off, the girl from Okinawa, I mean, he was going to be going back to the States, so...
Yeah, she went back to the States with him.
She did?
Yeah, and then left him to go to a dance studio.
Oh. Well, I just gotta say that maybe he really was just a shitty boyfriend.
Well, clearly he is. He demonstrates that in all the movies.
So wait, so his girlfriend from the first movie, she started dating a football player or something?
I think so. Because, again, it's just like a throwaway line of dialogue at the beginning of the second movie. He's, like, getting out of his car, and he's all mad, and he's like, this and this and this happens, and this is happening in my car, and Allie ran off with the football player, or whatever he said. She started dating him for somebody else.
See, this goes back to our whole River City Ransom thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is... Yeah, it's, you know, in the video games, it's always this whole thing of like, I'm gonna go through all kinds of hell, like Double Dragon, whatever it's, I stole.
Streets of Fury.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but that opening scene, Double Dragon, where they just walk up, just punch her in the stomach and walk off.
It's so good.
I'm like, what the hell? Who thought that was a good idea, even in the 80s, to make that a video game? But like,
the comedian.
Out of nowhere, he just walk up and just like punch her in the stomach and like, come with me, bitch. And then you have to go through all that stuff. You gotta fight women with like whips and leather and shit and like big mutated ass like Jason clones and all this stuff. You gotta climb up top of buildings and go through parks and, you know...
construction sites.
Yeah, all that stuff to get her back. But then again, you know it's not gonna last. You know it's not gonna last. Like, she's not gonna always be forever in your debt.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, I went through all that for what? Because I mean, she could break up with you as soon as it's over.
Oh, yeah.
You know, be like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to tell you, you know, that would be funny if you went through like that entire video game and you get all the way through that and you fight the boss and you defeat the boss. And then you get the girl and he's like, come on, baby, let's go home. It's like, I mean to tell you that, yeah, I don't really want to see you anymore. How about I start dating this new guy? It's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah. That's why that guy over there was so pissed off. He heard me talking about it, how I've been cheating on you. And he was like, this fucking bitch. Let's teach her some manners. Like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, he was the good guy all the time.
I kind of want to
tearing me apart.
I kind of want to do a comic of that. That would be awesome.
That would be funny. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know what's...
He just leaves her tied up at the end. It's like, yeah. I guess I'm just going to go home, huh?
It's like, yeah, I'm saying, why don't you call your new boyfriend, bitch? I'm going to set the phone right over here. I think I'd actually do like a Watchman thing. Mm-hmm. And be like, they tie her to like handcuff her to a radiator and be like, so it's like, you could call somebody for help using the cell phone here, but it'd probably be faster to, you know, to just salt through your own hand, but I'd leave both of them out of reach. like a hacksaw would be like 3 feet out of her reach, and the cell phone would be like 10 feet out of her reach. Wait, you didn't give me a fighting chance. Yeah, ain't that a kick in the ass? Now you know how it feels.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I mean, obviously it's not super relevant to the plot of any of the Karate Kid movies, but I feel like, you know, it could have helped sort of garner some sympathy for Daniel as a character.
Well, so here's the thing. He falls in love with that chick. Well, falls in love. What's the line from Romeo and Juliet? Was that men don't fall in love with their hearts, but with their eyes?
Oh, with their cock.
Well, the way that Pete Postlethwaite delivers the line in the Baz Luhrmann movie, mm-hmm. and he's talking to Romeo, he goes, you know, it's like love's not with the heart, but with their, and he pauses, eyes. But I think that you don't really know anything about this girl. And, you know, Johnny is like, he's being a dick. Like, stop it, Johnny, stop it. You know, and he's like, you know, he's like, this is like, you know, remember I spent that weekend at Rick James's house? Well, this is what I learned. Fuck your boombox, you know. But, so anyway, getting all that to say, like,
and
we
Johnny
don't
says,
know.
Don't touch me, motherfucker.
So, we don't know anything about her. So, but as far as you know, like, she's probably the bad guy.
I mean,
And of course, all of her friends are gonna be like, "Oh no, she's a really sweet girl, and he's just a jerk." Well, of course you're gonna say that. You're her friends, but she could be a complete asshole.
she could be.
And then what do we see? We see that he just trying to stand up for her ends up getting this whole thing with Johnny and his crew, and then I mean, hell, it's so bad they want to kill him. They want to kill him. I mean, like the little blonde-haired guy was just like, he's gonna need a body bag.
Body bag, Johnny.
And then like the sensei is like, oh yeah, by the way, I want you to break his leg just because he's pissing me off. All because of that little bitch who, right after the fight is over, she's like, oh, now I'm gonna start dating this football player. But she's not really dating a football player. What she wants is for you to go fight for her again because that's how she gets her kicks. Mm-hmm. Which is the thing that she did with you and Johnny. It's a pattern.
There is that.
And you fell into that. Because you're a moron, Daniel LaRusso. About, yeah, I used to do karate back in Jersey, because I'm Italian.
I know everything about karate, all right? I am Italian.
It's like, yo, the Chinese, they think they invented noodles? No, we invented noodles first, and we also invented karate first. And they stole that just like they stole the noodles.
Yeah, now I haven't watched hardly anything of Cobra Kai, but there was one scene where, Johnny actually talks about that whole thing, the whole altercation with Daniel, and his whole thing is that, like, yeah, he let things get out of hand that night at the beach, and he shouldn't have broken a radio, but then Daniel's the one who started the fight, and Daniel's the one who threw the first punch, and all he did was defend himself.
But in Daniel's defense, though, like, he didn't really have to do much because Daniel couldn't fight. I mean, he didn't have to do anything. He
didn't do much. He just kicked him like 3 times.
Well, I mean, first didn't he like dodge him, like they storm to the ground and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when Daniel kept trying, he's like, oh, I don't like sand in my face. I'm Italian. And then he beat the shit out of him. But it was when he came back, like, ooh, we're spooky skeleton warriors. Like, that's when he took it too far, I think.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like he said in Cobra Kai, he hadn't seen Daniel for months. He'd been avoiding him, and then out of nowhere, he's just sparking a J in the bathroom, and Daniel dumps water all over him. That's why they got pissed off there.
See, I've never watched Karate Kid. I've never been interested in watching Karate Kid.
Holy shit, Karate Kid is so good. I've
never wanted to watch it.
Wow.
I mean, I've seen pieces of it, enough to. But I didn't know about the part about him smoking weed in the butt. But he shouldn't have been doing that anyway.
He shouldn't have been doing that on school property. No, but I mean, it's also not like this horrible violent thing that he's doing either.
But also it's not your place to come here and be like, crack is whack. Take this water in your head. Like, no, dude. Why do you want to do that? What's your problem?
Just a comic I read a few days back.
So,
I'll get into it in a bit.
I'm just saying. I mean, anyway. Yeah, I think that she really is a troublemaker, and she's the one that she always wants to. Is that the one that had the "I'm a man who will fight for your honor" song?
No, that's 2.
Oh, is that 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I always can't which one is the one from the Robin Hood movie with Kevin.
Oh, you're thinking of shit. It's Bryan Adams.
Okay, Bryan Adams, that Peter Cetera. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, I'm fine then.
God damn it! What's that song?
I don't care now.
Yeah, it's not Peter Cetera.
Okay, good.
Damn it! What is the song?
Nobody cares.
Look into my eyes, and you'll see. What is the fucking song?
Oh, see, now I'm going to have to slice your fucking throat.
It's not
Shut up!
I can't remember the name of the goddamn song, though!
This is going to be worth fighting for if you don't shut up!
Why do I know the words, but I can't remember the fucking song?
Is it I do it for you?
Everything I do for you.
God, you fucking ass.
We can move on.
No, we can't. Now you made me have to remember and think about something that I've been most of my life. We were like, I don't know what the name of that song is. It's not something. But now, no, it's. No, it's now I have to be like, yes, I know what that is.
I mean, it's
you reminded me of it.
It's No Glory of Love by Peter Cetera, but
Okay. Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's just all right, but like the orchestral stuff off of that soundtrack is so good.
Anyway, so yeah, Daniel, I didn't know he did all that stuff. I just like whatever.
Yeah, Daniel's a fucking psychopath. Are you kidding me? He's a bad person.
I'm not falling into your trap. I've already done that twice. I'm not gonna give you credence to like your whole like the racist rant thing. I'm not doing that.
No, I mean I'm not one of those people saying that Johnny's like the hero of the story or anything. I'm just saying Daniel is a kind of a piece of shit in a lot of ways.
I know what you're saying, and I know what you're doing right
you
now.
Know why?
And I don't like it. So yeah. Anyway. So,
I mean, who else but an Italian would waste their college money?
There you go. There you go.
On opening a bonsai store with potential. Kill the last real bonsai tree in America, because...
I thought he spent his college... No, he delayed going to college.
Yeah.
To go to Okinawa.
Mm-hmm.
But okay.
Yeah, and then in the third movie, he spends a huge chunk of his college fund opening the bonsai store with Miyagi. And then, even though Miyagi shows him the last bonsai tree growing in America, and it's like, this is the last real one that's growing in the wild, and Daniel just, like, digs it up.
Isn't it, like, hang off the side of a cliff or something?
Yeah. Yeah, the third movie is so goddamn bad. I love the Karate Kid movies, but the third one is so bad.
And then he had the cutest chick, man. And
all the chicks he's with are adorable.
I think was Elizabeth Shue was in the first one.
I think so.
She didn't really do anything for me.
She's all right. She's cute.
But the one from the second one, crap, I'm trying to think of her name now. Tamala Tumita, who of course like we talked about, and it's like,
yeah,
I love her, and well, I shouldn't say love her, but like that, I didn't really put two and two together. She was the girl from Karate Kid 2, or the woman from Karate Kid 2, when she's in 4 Rooms, in the misbehaviors thing. That was her, but yeah.
Yeah, she's adorable.
You haven't seen 4 Rooms, so you haven't seen the misbehaviors thing.
No.
It's so great, especially when Antonio Banderas is combing his son's hair, and he's like combing it back, he's trying to slick it back, and the kid's like wincing in the mirror, he's like pulling with the comb, he's like, I can't do anything, you've got your mother's hair.
Oh shit, they did a, oh wow, that's where that's from. Because in Spy Kids 2, they do a parody of that scene.
Well, that's because that was the inspiration that Robert Rodriguez did. That's the thing that inspired Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Was that whole thing.
Because in Spy Kids 2, he's combing Junie's hair back, and then he's like, oh wait, a knot. And he like rinses his arm around and just like puts all of his body weight down and rips the knot. And he's like, there we go. It's really funny.
We have to watch 4 Rooms. 4 Rooms
is
so
definitely.
Great. God, it's so good. I mean, when I say it's good, it's the moments that are good hold everything else together. And of course, I've shown you the Marissa Tomei scene. Which is just, that's phenomenal. But anyway, so she's good. And then in the third one, he's got, what's her name? Robin Lively. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. I used to have the biggest thing for Robin Lively all the time.
She's super cute.
I used to always just call her Natty Gann because I couldn't remember her name. And I used to just call her Natty Gann. I'm like, oh, she's got that little puppy dog nose. Oh, Natty Gann's so hot. And then that one, though, it's like they're just friends. It's like, that's all they're going to be as friends. Because she's like, no, I see your douchebag ass coming a mile away. I didn't even need my wolf to tell me that you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, because she says, like, right at the beginning when he asks her out, she's like, yeah, I got a boyfriend. He's like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'll ask you out anyway because I'm Italian. Hey.
Does she disappear like halfway through the movie?
No. No, she sticks with him.
No, I thought that her character, like she's like just like gone for like a big chunk of the movie. Like she's not even in it.
She's not there super frequently, but just because like she's not the focus.
Right, that belongs to Thomasine Griffith.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Where is this thing I'm looking for?
So while you're looking for that, I'm just gonna say, so the whole deal.
Here's the picture. Okay, go ahead.
I'd say so. The whole deal with that is, so in between each movie, and I know like the first one, the second one picks up with right after the fight in the first one.
Yeah. Like they step out in the parking lot. That's where movie 2 picks up.
Right, and then like the guy that runs Cobra Kai, he tries to like beat up Miyagi, and he ends up punching through the windows of the car.
Yep.
Anyway, so. And then, how long is it after that he decides to go to Okinawa? Because I forget. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
That happens pretty quickly, like within a couple of weeks after winning the tournament. Miyagi gets notice that his teacher was dying.
Okay, so my next question is, after the second one, how long is it between the second and the third?
That I'm not too sure about. It's not extremely long. I want to say it's within a couple of months, but I'm not 100% positive. It's been a long-ass time since I've watched him.
Well, he doesn't have any problems just moving on, does he?
Well, yeah.
Okay, it's like, nope, hey.
Because Italians are horny bastards.
Like, okay,
so,
yep. And now just move on to the next thing.
I remembered that I'd sent this picture to my sister just because it's...
Oh, God.
It's haunting. It has nothing to do with Italian people. Because we brought up Spy Kids... You know, Daryl Sabera, who played Junie, has just kind of dropped off the map, and nobody really knew much of what was happening with him.
Well, and the girl, she was around for a while, and then she just kind of disappeared too.
Yeah, she did a couple of things, and last thing I saw her in was in one of the Machete movies.
Oh yeah,
and she turned out to be quite attractive.
I do recall that she was attractive. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so here's this picture of Daryl Sabera with Meghan Trainor of the song All About That Bass.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving a sex store with a grocery bag full of dildos.
Oh, wait, do we know that it's full of dildos?
I mean, it's just a bag of dildos there.
So is that, are they, wow, okay, he still has that same baby face,
yeah, dude. But look at the haunted PTSD Vietnam flashback look in his eyes of just staring straight ahead. It's not like he's leaving the sex shop with Meghan Trainor like, yeah, I'm gonna go back home and get some. It's like, I can hear the choppers.
You know, she was probably, like looking at some of the things, and, you know, they've got the, well, I say you know, but you probably don't. But you know, they've got those. God, I don't. Oh man, our podcast. it went from being highbrow to.
At what point were we ever highbrow?
Low and brow. Anyway, so they've got those little like butt plug things that look like thumbs. You seen those?
I have not seen those.
Like they normally come in like purple or green or some shit like that, but it's shaped and it's molded to look like a thumb, and it can't be vaginal because like it's not big. It's just like a anyway. And I can only imagine she was probably looking at those, and he started having flashbacks to the little thumb creatures. Right? And then that's what brought it all back. She's like, yeah, maybe we can use these on each other. And then next minute hit him. It's like, that's all I can think about. Like, the thumbs.
He gets that hollowed look in his eyes, and he's just hearing.
It's a madman, help us, save us!
The thumbs. And they hit. It's like we were just kids. Okay, so I have to ask. Only in Hollywood this kind of shit happen, but I have to ask, how does someone like him, who hasn't been in the spotlight or probably hasn't done anything in a while, meet someone like that, and like hook up, like, because she's like, I could never just meet her, be like, oh yeah, so yeah, let me go and just meet her because I can.
Right.
I mean, and if I had ran into him, I probably would not have recognized who he was. So how would he be able to put himself in a position where he can meet her and be like, oh, remember me? I used to do the Spy Kids movies. Remember me? I used to give a shit. And then to hook up and be like, yeah, so now we're going to go to a sex store together.
Meghan Trainor can't be any older than me. Which means she's right around the same age as Daryl Sabera and Alexa Vega.
Okay.
So, if she grew up with those movies, then I can see the logistics of why she would have a thing for Daryl Sabera. But
what I'm saying is, how does he even get to meet her?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not like he's going directly to her and be like, oh, hey, I'm Daryl Sabera. Remember me?
I just loved your song all about that bass.
Yeah. I bought you this watch here. It doesn't tell time. But, I mean, but I'm like, he's got to get through a bunch of people before he gets there. And I'm pretty sure people are not going to, like, give a shit or let him through.
Nearest thing I can figure would be social media, you know? It's like everybody, like all these celebrities and shit comment on each other's stuff and all that, and like have conversations. I'm sure it wouldn't have been too much effort for one or the other to slide into the other person's DMs.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I just imagine that, like, there's so much. It's like whenever somebody retweets something that someone else said, I'm thinking, like, that was so luck of the draw. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure they get retweeted, like, all the time, or someone makes a comment, and they don't read all that stuff. You can't possibly read. Although when you've got millions of subscribers and you've got like thousands of like posts to your stuff, you can't go through and read all that stuff. I got real shit to do here, right? You know, so how would that not get lost in everything else? You know, or even if they DM you, like they probably have a lot of people that do that shit. Oh yeah. And like, so how does it not get? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like someone like Ryan Reynolds, they react to a lot of people's tweets.
Huh. So that was the thing. I was actually gonna talk about Ryan Reynolds too, because the new Saved by the Bell is on, and I was like, okay, new Saved by the Bell is on, and it's got most of the cast members except for the two crazy ones, and I was looking at what's his name, I was gonna call him Zach Morris, but that's his character's name, but I was looking at him and I was like, wait a minute, like. What happened to you, dude? Mm-hmm. But no, I'm serious. Like, what happened to you? Because, like, you had the potential to be like a. I'm not gonna say he had the potential to be a great actor, right? But he had the potential to like really like further his career, right? Like Mark Paul Gosselaar. Right. He had the potential to further his career. He let that shit kind of get, like, taken over. Well, not taken over, but he got sidelined by, like, Mario Lopez, who really kind of, like, went a couple places. And then he, stepped back or, did whatever his, like, TV hosting shit or whatever it was. Right. And then, Mark Paul kind of did a couple things. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, you could have really stepped right into one of those roles, like Leonardo DiCaprio, or a Joseph Gordon-Levitt, or what's my man? Australian guy.
Australian guy.
Yeah, Australian guy. Heath Ledger.
Oh.
Right? So you had the potential to do that, but you didn't. And then I was thinking about it, you're like, you know what? He could have been like the American Ryan Reynolds. Mm-hmm. He has the look. He's got the age. I mean, and I don't know if he necessarily has the quote unquote humor, but I mean, he had that. He could have been that. We had to get a Canadian to do that. We could have had a full-blooded, homegrown American, like, fill that role that needed to be filled, and you weren't there. Where were you, Mark? I mean, MPG, where were you? That we had to go to our cousins to the north, those freaking syrup suckers, right? To get the guy to fill the hole that you left.
You were the chosen one.
I mean, honestly, like, was it two guys, a girl, and a pizza place? That could have been like freaking like Zack Slater Kelly in a pizza place. I mean, that's what that could have been. But you decided you were like, well, I'm just gonna kick back some and work on or whatever it was you were doing, and you let this Canuck slide in there and take over a spot that was built for you.
Hey man, don't go bad-mouthing my Ryan.
I'm not bad-mouthing him. I'm just saying, man. Okay, like, look,
Call him a fucking syrup sucker.
Okay. Look, okay, the proposal, right?
Uh-huh.
Replace Ryan Reynolds with Mark Paul Gosselaar. No change.
I guess not.
Blade 3. No change.
I don't know, because he's a lot dead. He's very Deadpool-y in Blade 3.
He is, but only because you've seen Deadpool.
Yeah.
Since that came first, if you erase Deadpool from your mind, or just block it out, like anyway, just block it out, right? Then I could see that.
Maybe.
So, did you ever watch Saved by the Bell?
Not really, no.
Okay, well, I recently had to come to grips with the fact that I watched a lot of Saved by the Bell in syndication.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. I don't know why I watched it, and I'm going to say right now, it wasn't just because of Elizabeth Berkley. Because after they left, and they brought in like Saved by the Bell, like the new class or something like that, or like when they got in the hey, I'm the tough chick. Remember how they had Joe in Facts of Life? I'm like her, but only on Saved by the Bell. Like, yeah, I still watched it. I didn't like it. I don't know why I watched it, but I have to come to terms with the fact that I watched a lot of it. Like, this is how much Saved by the Bell I watched.
Okay.
Is that, did you know that the original, like, Saved by the Bell, like the first season, before Slater and all them, wasn't even about Zach and all them? It was about the teachers.
Nah.
Like, after school, they would show, like, was it Haley Mills or one of those? It was, like, the main teacher, and, like, they would have scenes in her house. And then, was it T.C. Carter, the guy from, there's been a bunch of stuff, but he was in The Thing, and one of the black guys, he played, he was the cook. I'm trying to think of what his name is now. Anyway, he was in it too. He was like a janitor at the school.
Yeah.
But then, and then Zach was in it, of course, doing like all of he and Screech were, but, and he was still doing his normal Zach stuff. So he was kind of like the class, kind of the one that she's got to straighten up and get to fly right. The next thing you know, she's gone, Carter's gone, and then like it's all about Zach and them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how much I watched that show, that I know that there was like a whole different like premise to the show before and all that stuff. But I can't tell you that I liked it. I can't tell you that I liked it because I didn't. I mean, I didn't. But anyway, so I'm just saying, like, I think that if you look at that, you can see like some of the smart-assy stuff that he did. You know, obviously that show was very much looking to the camera,
Right.
You know,
Right.
but some of the smart-assy stuff he did, I can see that working in Blade 3. Now, when you go to Deadpool, though, I don't think that he could have filled that role, but we don't know because he didn't grow in those other roles to get to that. We look at a movie like Dead Man on Campus with him and what's that guy's name? He's another guy's got like 3 names. Tom Everett Scott, I think it was. That's in that with him. And we're like, okay, well, hey, he can do like a more straight comedy, whatever.
Right,
I'm just saying, like, why did you do that? Why did you make Ryan Reynolds be the person that we like? We're like, oh, he's so funny and charming. I want to meet him. He's so everyday. That could have been that. No, that should have been you. You broke my heart. You let me down.
It's because you couldn't dance.
Well, I still can't dance. And as much as I love Franklin and Bash, let me put it out there. As much as I love Franklin and Bash, that's doesn't wash everything away. You know, it doesn't. Damn you, MPG. Damn you all to hell. Fucking miles per gallon.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway.
So. What were we talking about? I don't know. I'm like lost.
Wow. Yeah, we've...
Oh, we were talking about Ghostbusters, and I was talking about like anything else like after like did you thought about having a movie that you like thought about like they never really fully addressed this.
And I said Karate Kid, which led us somehow down the rabbit hole to Daryl Sabera walking out of a sex shop with Meghan Trainor, which somehow brought us over
because of Tamla
Tomita. Which somehow brought us over to Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. So, but anyway, my other thing was that I think Daniel's just a really bad boyfriend, and I don't think he knows anything about girls.
But clearly not, because he's Italian. Oh! Ha-ha! Yeah!
Say what you will, but you know what? He could go back to Jersey, and he could just let himself go, get like a big-ass gut, walk around like in like a tracksuit with like a wife beater, right? And get a hot-ass Italian chick wearing tight jeans and heels and big hair.
Apparently, yeah.
So, and while we can get none of that.
I could probably get an Italian chick if I went up north.
If you went up north.
Yeah. I don't like leaving my house that much.
You know what I say to that? Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. What's the matter, you?
I'm just saying, I mean, that's the one thing, I mean, no matter what, man, you can say whatever you want about them, but in the end, it's like, I can just let myself go completely, right? And the thing is, not even try to hide the fact that I'm, like, completely out of shape and, like, hairy as shit and everything. Not even try to trim that, so I can, like, have hair, like, coming off my back, sticking out the collar of my shirt. And I can get this hot-ass, like, 26-year-old, like, like big tits and like a small waist, wearing these tight ass jeans, wearing like 12-inch heels, right? and hair taller than a Chrysler building, right? Who's gonna be like, say that I'm the hottest thing ever? Right?
Meanwhile,
and
you look
he's
like
so
a marshmallow
good to me.
and kicked around the barbershop floor.
Right, I look like the stunt double for the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And it's like, yeah, but tell me, can you do this? And the thing is, I'm 53. And it's like, she's 26. And look at you. What, you're like 35? You've got nothing. You've got nothing. You know why I got all this? Because I'm Italian. I know about these things. And I just gotta say, shit, you're right. I got nothing.
I mean, that's how they get those chicks, is they just walk up to them in the bar and it's like, oh, yeah, I know what women want because I'm Italian. That's my personality trait.
It's almost like the opposite of the Rubenesque thing, where, like you look at her, she's so healthy and plump, which means that she's got money, she eats well, but she's not poor. Right. And that she's well taken care of. So it's almost like that. Like, oh, look at him. Like, look at him. He's so overweight. And
clearly he gives zero fucks.
Right. And it's like, for a guy like that, it was like, he must be doing well for himself. And I want someone's going to take care of my future. Because my biological clock is ticking like this. I'm like, okay, wow. It's like, I got nothing, man. Shit.
You're right. The two utes.
What?
The utes. The two utes.
What's a ute?
God, I love that movie.
It really is a good movie. Oh.
And that also has Daniel LaRusso in it.
It does. Wow.
Christ, we're on fire tonight.
We are, man. We are bringing it back around to midnight every time.
And I don't know how, because we're just babbling like a couple of crackheads.
Wait. You got some crack? Tell me you were all loud.
No.
Don't be holding back on me, motherfucker. Oh, man. That's why you made fun of me when I was so pleased that I brought the Lenny thing back around, because that was so just accidental, just coincidental. I'm like, it works,
because you were so proud of it.
Because it was like pulling the slot machine lever, like cherry, and then it's like, and then all of a sudden it just tumbled one more time, ching, cherry, and I was like, ding, 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 like, yes, I'm dancing around singing in the rain. I'm like, oh man. Oh, okay.
Woo.
Yeah, buddy. So, my name is withheld because I'm going to be joining the Waitlist Relocation Program. And then, like some people, I actually know how to be like, I'm not going to run around telling everybody who I am, because we're saying that I'm in the Waitlist Relocation Program. So, my name is verbally redacted. And you can always find me here on Our Moms Think We're Funny, along with...
I'm Acomi, and I know how to podcast because I am Italian. So...
That's fantastic.
This podcast sounds exactly like a real podcast. Just like an Italian made it, so...
Sorry, you made me think of that episode of The Simpsons when Homer was imitating Krusty the Clown. And the mob is going after him, and they pick him up to think he's Krusty. And he goes, like, is he Krusty the Clown? And he's like, no, I'm Homer Simpson. He goes, hey, the same Homer Simpson. He's like, no, I mean, I'm Joe Polacci. The same Joe Polacci's like, no, I'm this guy.
Yeah.
That's what you made me think of. Like, I want to say I'm somebody else, but like, no, that's just going to be even worse.
But yeah, you can find me on social media at Acomi Draws. I am a lot more contained on social media.
Yeah. And when you shove a microphone in our face and we say all kinds of like rude, outlandish shit that we wouldn't dare say in public, we're podcast tough guys. Like, I wouldn't talk this way over text or on the phone, but on a podcast, oh yeah.
You remember the tough guy creepypasta, right?
I don't think so.
The what the fuck did you say to me, you little fucking maggot? That whole thing. It's so stupid.
I think I do.
Like I was in the Navy SEALs and Special Forces, and I have over 200 confirmed kills. I have the power to order a drone strike on your house right now. That whole thing. I used to keep that on a notepad and would just copy and paste it to people whenever we were texting. It's good stuff.
Really, you've got the power to order a drone strike, on domestic, so I don't think so.
Anyways, yeah. So that's been me. This was fun.
This has been us. Oh man. Oh, sorry, but man, just this takes a lot of energy out of us, man.
It does.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can say what you want about racists, but you know, being a racist it is energy draining and time consuming. It's not just something that you do just for fun. You just walk away and be like, oh yeah, now I'm gonna go out and go do some exercise. Like, no, it's tiring work.
I've got to finish Pa's work, just like Ma taught me.
Oh, and on that, I bid you adieu.
Bye, everybody.
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.